Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be doing a video. This is a little bit different. I don't normally do this for events, but when we get an exceptionally good event or we get an exceptionally bad event, I tend to do one of these videos talking about my opinions to why that event is good or bad. Now today we're going to be talking about Game of Games, the sequel, and I'm going to be, the reason that the title is a little kind of, I guess, a little kind of edgy, or it's a little bit inflammatory, I guess, in some sense, but I don't know, I'm going to try and argue my point to why I think that this update is one of the worst we've got in many years. Now, I don't think everything in the event is necessarily bad. I don't think the event is beyond repair. There is a good thing they could do to actually repair this event somewhat, and it'd be okay. It wouldn't be great, but it wouldn't be terrible. But the way that certain things are structured in this event, and the kind of characters and kind of costumes that we've got, and just some of the decorations as well, I just think they're not particularly great, and if anything, it is a bad thing to this event. But like I said, I think it can easily be fixed. Some of the things, at least. You're always going to have terrible kind of, bad items in the game, but there's ways to fix them and make them a little bit better. So I'm going to be going through 4 reasons to why I think this is the worst event, and then I'll give a thing they could do to fix that problem that I have. So we'll start with my first point, which is Game of Games is badly structured. Now, I think this could be fixed very easily. In the Discord server, Spring King gave a very good kind of reasoning to, or a good kind of structure to how to restructure this event. Basically, what he did is he kind of switched a few things around. Now, I think this event is badly structured in a few regards. One other thing is definitely the fact that the event is structured in a way so we don't get a costume or character as the final prize. Now, this is an issue because I think it's kind of needed that we get at least a costume as a final prize or a character as a final prize. Now, in Act 1 of this event, we get neither. We don't get a costume, we don't get a character. We just get buildings and decorations. One building and then a few decorations, and then a token. I just think this is the wrong move. They definitely shouldn't make this they shouldn't make this a thing that happens again. And I'm hoping that with enough kind of awareness, let's let us, the consumer, let EA know what we think of their update. Then hopefully this won't happen again, because I don't particularly think this is a good thing. I think if anything, it's quite a bad thing, because I think for the free players, it's fair. You have to be fair to the free players in some regard, because they're playing the game, they're getting it, ranked on the App Store somewhat as well, or the Android Store, the Play Store. So I think it makes sense to give free players a free character. Well, and even to your premium players, because it's a bit of a joke when you charge people money and people do actually pay that money, and then you don't even give them the option to get a free character. The only time they can get a character or a costume is to pay money. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just Act 1. Act 1 is the only act that actually has this kind of structure where there isn't no character to be unlocked. Act 2 has one costume, Act 3 has another costume, and Act 4 has 2 costumes for you to unlock. But I just think, kind of fundamentally, the structure is just not great. Also, buildings. There isn't very many buildings to unlock either. Like, you got Captain Blip's Zapateria in Act 1. That's the only building. In Act 2, you've got the Bart's Moon Mansion. It's the only building you can unlock. In Act 3, there's the Toys Were Us, which is the only building you can unlock. New building, anyway. There is also the Water Slide Tree in Act 3, but that's a previous building, and it's going to be adding a new animated job. And then Act 4, literally no buildings. 0 buildings in Act 4. And I don't know, I just think that each act should have at least one building. Sometimes but in some regards, I can kind of say that I think it makes sense to add more than one building to an act as well. I really like it when there's 2 buildings per act. I think that makes a solid act. If there's 2 buildings, 1 character, and maybe 2 decorations, I think that makes a solid act. Now, obviously, because they've switched out one of the decorations or one of the buildings for a token, then that's the reason why, obviously, we're missing out on a prize. And don't get me wrong, I like the tokens, but I'm honestly thinking, is there a better solution to the tokens? Why couldn't they make it so there's a double prize, for example? So you unlock a you unlock a building and you also unlock a token at the same time. I think that would be actually a better way of using the tokens, because I like the tokens. I think it's cool to obviously give better stuff to, give old stuff even to new players, but I don't know, I think there's a better way of using the tokens, and I think that's combining them with prizes. And even you can make the token as the final prize, just add it with the character you're unlocking. So basically, the final prize would be a new character or costume and also a token. I think that works very well, and they definitely can do that because they have done it in the past. So yeah, that's my first point. The event is poorly structured. So yeah, moving on to my second point. All the characters are premium. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. If there was only like 1 or 2 characters like Tap Ball, I would be somewhat forgiving of this. But the fact that there are 4 characters and they're all premium is kind of annoying to me. I think that at best 2 of the characters could have been premium and 2 of the characters should have been free. I just think that would have been a much better thing. Huge Ass, I get him being premium. Obviously he's the Gills deal, that makes sense, sure. And then maybe let's say I don't know, let's say Strawberry, she's the other premium. That makes sense. Now, they should give us Cosine and they should give us Wally Weasel as free characters. They gave us Report Card as a free character, so I don't really understand why they've made Cosine premium. I don't know, I just think that it's kind of crappy that free players obviously aren't going to get any characters in this game. Or at least if they want to in this update, unless they obviously want to spend money. I just think that's kind of shitty. Even if 1 character was free, it would have been it would have been better. I just don't like the idea that all these characters are obviously premium. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that this is a major point in some regards as well. They also missed many opportunities for characters too. They definitely could have given us the tutorial wizard from the Earthbound Realms update, and yeah, I just think that really I would have preferred it if 2 of the characters were free and 2 of the characters were premium, and if they really wanted to add more premium things, then just add more characters to the event. It's an easy fix. Point 3, crappy decorations. So I generally think a lot of these decorations are just poor as hell. We got Papa Dubba the Dubstepper, which is so oversized it's ridiculous. It's as big as the Zip Zap, the building we got, where it's called the arcade place. It's as big as that building, which is insane to me because it's meant to be like an arcade machine essentially, and it's huge. I don't know, I think that it's a little bit oversized in my opinion. Then you have the arcade cabinets and the arcade walls. I hate these so much. They are interiors, and at first, if you watch my video on it, you can literally see my reaction. I thought, okay, they're interiors. I'm not a massive fan of interiors, but if we can design them properly, then I'll be fine with it. I'll be somewhat accepting of it. But you can't even rotate them well, and I think an easy solution to this would just be to rotate them. Add a little option so you can rotate the arcade walls and arcade cabinets, but they haven't done that, and I just think that those are kind of really crappy decorations. I do not like those decorations at all. They're really bad. The shower computer, which I know I'm not going to like, it looks really weird. So yeah, and then you have the crowd of cosplayers. I'm sick of crowds a little bit. I mean, I know that sometimes I pitch them in ideas videos just because I don't really have any other things to kind of add, but I don't know, I'm just kind of sick of crowds. Really, they are such a crappy decoration in my opinion. This one especially, because we got like some guy cosplaying as Pie Man and some guy cosplaying as Fallout Boy, and there's Clobber Girl as well, and Radioactive Man. I don't know, I just think that I'm just not a fan of these crowding. And also, why is this added in this event? It feels like a superhero thing. But whatever, that's my opinion on the decorations. I just think they're kind of crappy. Anyway, on to my final point. The costumes are crappy, where at least 2 of them are. So Milo's costume, which is a terrible, terrible redesign. And it's also not premium, and that's a bad thing. The reason why it being premium is a bad thing is because Milo is in store for full price. He's not even in the mystery box. Now, personally, I think Milo should have been unlocked in the startup. So when you start up the event, I think he should be unlocked as a free character for players who obviously take part in this event. So once you start the event, he should have been unlocked. You can place him. Considering he leads this event, that makes a ton of sense. Then you can actually use him in the quest line and stuff, and use him in the tasks and stuff. I just think that was a terrible idea to put him in the store. I mean, even at least put him in the mystery box at least. I mean, that was really scummy, I think. And I think Spring King said it was quite offensive as well, and it is quite offensive to free players because it's like you're taunting this costume that's free for Milo in front of players, but the actual Milo, if you want that costume not to be in your inventory. I can't say words. If you don't want that costume in there, then you have to obviously buy Milo, and that is just a terrible thing to do. I just think that's really scummy of EA. So yeah, I don't really like the Milo costume. Also, I'm going to show an image that Spring King posted, which is here. This is literally a redesign of the Detonators, or I think that's his name, the Detonators costume. They obviously like just recolored. It's really bad if you look at it. If you look at it closely, they've just recolored his hoodie, the Detonators hoodie, and put it onto Milo. They've copied obviously Milo's trousers. They've copied, and they've just added like pockets to them. But I'm pretty sure if you can look carefully, I'm pretty sure to the left of it he does have those pockets anyway. But they've just put his pockets on. It's Milo's shoes as well. It's the same Milo shoes, and then they've just blacked out the face in the middle. But it is literally just the Detonators hoodie, which they've recolored. You can easily see that. And I just think this is really bad. This is really bad. This is notoriously bad. I've never seen such a bad costume design, and it wouldn't be so bad if this was in the show. If this was something from the show and it just happened to look very similar to the Detonator, then I wouldn't blame Tapped Out for that. I would be like, well, it's something to do with the show. But this is a Tapped Out original costume. The costume for Milo, I mean, it's a Tapped Out original costume. So they've clearly just redesigned the Detonator and Milo. They've just kind of combined them and made this crappy little costume, which, yeah, I'm not a fan of this at all. I think this is really bad. Also, the Nelson costume, the Nelson for costume is not particularly great as well. I don't know what episode that's from. Apparently, it's not from any particular episode. Looks like a crappy costume as well. So we'll have to see, but I imagine that one won't be great either. Anyway, guys, that is it for my reason to why Gamer Games is one of the worst events we've had in years. I think this is quite unique in some regards because it's not like basic. Like, if it still follows the basic kind of 4-act structure, you know, the basic mini event times 4 structure, if you will. So I kind of think that it's different to like other bad events like Easter, that Easter event we had, or the Valentine's Day, that one terrible Valentine's Day event we had, or the Clash of Crap event. It's kind of different in a lot of sense to those events. The reason why it's different is because this is easily fixable. It's not like something fundamentally wrong with the event. You know, it's not like there's a terrible kind of mystery box system or there's a terrible spinning wheel. It's just the event was badly structured, and I think that fundamentally is the reason why the event is bad. It's just badly structured. Sure, there's bad things in the event, don't get me wrong, I do think that, but I don't think fans of the game would have nearly as much of a distaste to this if it was just restructured a little bit better. But anyway, that's it for the video. I'm going to be pinning in the latest update chat. There is obviously the Spring King posted his little kind of redesign of the event. So I'm going to post that in. Well, I'm going to pin the first one anyway in the Discord server. So make sure to go check that out. You can go if you join the Discord and you go to the latest update chat and you look at the pin stuff, you'll see the Spring King's thing is pinned, and if you just jump to it, you can read through Spring King's redesigned event. It's quite cool actually. So yeah, tell me your thoughts on the event so far. What do you think about it? Do you agree with me that it's kind of crappy? And yeah, I'll see you next video. Goodbye.